39.5 systems were reclaimed by the humans, with little to no injuries. The humans had me broadcasting everything. They swept through system after system like a plague of locusts through a field of crops, crushing everything in their way. It wasn't until the Battle of Etgar that we saw the first human die. You see, with the constant report after report, Ravagers saw the articles. They were working on tech to counter the human stealth, and they were finally successful. The first human casualty of the Reclamation, Tyler Hansen, was to go down in all of history. The first human to give his life for the Union. The first human to show that humans were capable of bleeding. You may ask how he died. The media will say his stealth tech was compromised, and that he was shot to death, but I shall reveal the truth. I stretch my digits, beginning to type my new article. Star Union News, front page. Tyler Hansen, the first human to greet the Ravagers in hell. May his greeting be just as violent as his death. Lieutenant Hansen and his team infiltrated the Ravagers' airbase. Everything was going according to their plan, until they reached the airfield. Alarms went off as the humans breached the fencing. An electromagnetic pulse blasted the entire base, interfering with their stealth. Their armor shimmered, and they came back into focus. They were exposed, caught in the open at the end of the runway. A Ravager hovercraft rose from the taxiway, moving straight for his team, weapons charged. "Run!" Lieutenant Hansen shouted, as he began running down the taxiway. "All units beware, Ravagers can disrupt stealth. I repeat, Ugh! His message cut short, as the hovercraft released a small missile at him, missing, but the force tossing him into one of the small storage buildings to the side. He quickly got back up, and ducked into the building. "Team, retreat. I will distract them and meet back up. We will re-attack when I get back." Hansen grabbed a grenade from his belt, pulled the pin. 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hansen held his position next to the door, protecting him from the hovercraft just outside. 5, 6, 7. He threw the door open, exposing himself. "Eat shit!" he shouted at the vehicle as he threw the grenade. The hovercraft, without missing a beat, began releasing kinetic rounds, spraying the building, and landing successful hits on the lieutenant. As he fell to the ground, the grenade gracefully made its way, skybound, and just before touching the graft it detonated, ripping through the hull. The hovercraft came crashing down, and a small detachment of Ravagers were deployed to find Hansen. They found his body battered on the floor, armor torn to shreds. These Ravagers saw the first human bleed, but they did not see the first death of a human though. That would never come for them, but death was waiting for Hansen to call his name, for he knew it would not be long. They grabbed the human's feet, struggling to lift his legs. A crack rang out. The Ravager's arm holding his left leg fell to the ground. "Get your filthy fucking hands off me!" A second crack rang out. The other Ravager holding his right leg fell to the ground, dead. Death must have loved humans. They brought many to his door. A Ravager near his head pulled a serrated black blade out and plunged it into his chest. His bright red blood sprayed and began to pool around the weapon. A simple gasp escaped the human. His movement slowed, shaky, nothing like what was normal for a human. His hand dropped to his side and found the remaining grenades. His shaking stopped. His finger pulled the pins out, keeping the grenades in place on his belt. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lieutenant Hansen struggled to get the words out. 5, 6. A smile spread across his face. "See you in hell." The feed got out. The first casualty of war, and he did not go silently. The humans paid respect to Lieutenant Hansen. The Union became silent. Their immortal saviors bled just like the rest of them. The Terrans truly mourned the loss of the human. They erected a statue in his memory, a memorial for those lost in battle. Everyone knew, now that the first human died, many were to follow. No longer was this an easy win. The humans were about to conduct regular warfare. Uncloaked, exposed, and, well, for a lack of a better term, human. The memorial read, "In honor of Lieutenant Tyler Hansen, loving husband, father, and brother, may he guide all souls lost at war to rest." I placed my signature block at the end and published the article. News broadcasted about the first casualty. I was showing the truth, the real side of humanity. Victory is possible against them, but it will be Pyrrhic. Etgar fell to the humans soon after. It took 2 weeks of continuous raids, but the humans retook it. 3 lives were lost to Etgar, including Hansen, their names etched into the memorial. 4 months to take 39.5 systems, but 2 weeks to take 1 planet without stealth. Humanity came to a painfully slow pace. Low casualties, but casualties nonetheless. each name etched at the handsome memorial. The Union waited with bated breath. How long until the refugees could return home? When will the Union be cleared for relief efforts to begin building? I sighed, rubbing my temples. The loss of Hansen was truly eye-opening. I knew I was indignant of humanity, but I was growing to like them. Sowing a healthy amount of fear into the articles was normal, even expected, but it did not feel right. Hansen deserved better from me. Humanity deserved better from me. From us. They had blood in the game, and they were here to stay. Like Wilson said in the first call, there was no going back for humans. They were unofficially part of the Union at this point. As the humans began the assault on the 40th system, casualties began trickling in. As the battle continued, more humans perished at the hands of Ravagers. They were learning of human tactics and tech. What was stranger was every feed cut out whenever a helmet detected that a human didn't have theirs on. It had been 4 months and no one had seen a human's face, except for Terrans, and they were tight-lipped. Whatever. Mattered not. Before us was 2 death-force species at each other's throats. The Union had no place anywhere near the front lines. They would get annihilated or just get in the way. Probably both. We offered our assistance nonetheless, repeatedly. Seize all lines of effort was repeated back. Only Terrans were allowed near them during combat ops. Olympia's commander appeared on the Star Union's live news video. A white backdrop with a flag hanging to his right. Everyone came to know that flag as Earth's flag, a symbol of hope. Good morning, Star Union. I am Colonel Smith, branch head of the Sol Olympia. He looked down at his notes and pushed them away. As you know, we have suffered losses. Humanity's progress in this war has slowed down significantly, but it doesn't mean we will stop. The Star Union is clear for rebuilding and relief efforts in the following systems. He listed 20 systems. Welcome home. Union will look forward to see you in all your glory. He smiled at the camera. After a moment of silence, he looked at someone behind the camera and nodded. And finally, with our President's approval, I welcome you to Terran's greatest secret. His hands raised and unclasped his helmet. A click and hiss escaped. His hands grabbed the side of the mask as an explosion rang out, shaking the camera, causing the Colonel to grab the desk. His helmet remained unmoved from its original place. Colonel, Sol Olympia is under attack, a voice shouted out from behind the camera. The Colonel relatched his helmet. Fucking hell, cut the feed. The Colonel stood up before the screen went black, returning to the Star Union News logo. Wait. I am on Sol Olympia. I am under attack?